Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well and doing okay. Let us know in the comments what you're up to and what you've been up to recently. It's great to have a bit of a chit chat, but I am going to be doing something really out of my comfort zone now. I'm going to turn this skull into a SkullGlobe, so a bit like a snow globe. I've not found any tutorials on it at all. I don't know how it's going to go, but I thought let's just go with it and see if it works. Obviously this is voiceover for me, and oh my god, I absolutely love the final piece. It is amazing, but there was a few hiccups on the way, so this is the first time I've ever tried something like this. So let's go, and while you're here, please remember to like and subscribe, as you do help my reach, and I will be doing more of these, and hopefully the next one will be perfect. So let's go. Okay, so first of all, I have got a balloon and I've filled it with water because I want it to be kind of weighted. I don't want, as I pour the resin in, for it to lift out of the mould. So I am using a bit of weight. Also wanted to hold it in place, so I am using kind of a stick to hold it. Now at this point, the balloon is actually touching the back of the skull, so I wanted to lift it a little bit. Give you a tip, that tape does not stick to the mould, so I've had to then rest it and lift it up and then position it, and at this stage then I will fill the mould with resin. So I do pour that, and I don't want to pour it all the way up to the top. I just wanted to pour it to a point where I can still take the balloon out. So this is with the resin in. It's just holding it in place. I'm trying to show you here at this point where the position of the balloon is not touching the head, but it was very difficult to hold it, and I did have to lift it up a little bit more. So I've used the 2 lollipop sticks to be able to do this. Once it was set, which I left for dead on 24 hours, I weren't going to risk leaving it any sooner. I needed to pull this out. It weren't coming out, so I needed to get a jug. I needed to cut then the balloon, and the water did like squirt out everywhere, but I wanted to get the water then out of the balloon and the balloon removed. It worked a treat. It left the hole, so it did what I wanted to do. The balloon material did not stick to the resin, and it did what I wanted it to do. Now what I wanted to do as well is, we know water and resin don't work very well. They seem to just don't bond. For me it just didn't work, so I had to make sure it was fully dry inside there and all the water was removed. And I used this plastic. Now these plastics I got with a set of key rings, which then was able to sit on the top. I used Micapowder and glitter to be able to put with the water, and I placed that plastic then on top. Now using my LetsResin resin, I mixed up enough to be able to, I thought, hold that plastic down. So this is my first error here. I needed to make sure that that plastic did not move, and I didn't want that water to come out and then mix with the resin. So at this point I thought it would work perfectly, and then as I left it a little bit, it started to move. The water started to pop out underneath the resin and mix with the resin. So it didn't go as well as I wanted to. So I thought I'd pop some ink in to add a bit of colour. Again, with the water coming through, there was a mix. And obviously we know water, so you can see the water bubbles here where it's actually releasing from that hole and mixing. So I've got a syringe to be able to remove some of that water and resin mix. I was quite surprised on how much I was able to get out, although it was still releasing. I think I spent about 15-20 minutes looking at this thinking, what else can I do? But in the end, I gave up. I left it 24 hours. Again, dead on 24 hours. I weren't going to leave it any shorter. I could go longer, but I thought, no, I need to figure out what's going to look like. Now, that was the water and resin. I was quite surprised it actually still, finished solid. I was expecting it to be like jelly, but it did actually solidify and went solid actually. And when I touched this, it was still quite hard, but you can see when I tip that round, that had actually moved underneath into the hole. So I did decide that I was going to just quickly get this demolded the same day now. So I filled it with Jesmonite. I weren't going to fill it with resin because that was another 24 hours. So I did fill the mold then with just normal natural coloured Jesmonite. So this is me mixing it in. My husband gave me the idea of actually the colour. He just said, just keep it bone, you know, with it being a skull. So it was the best colour to keep it, really. I didn't need to actually put any pigments in this. I just literally just poured the natural Jesmonite onto the top. So I needed this to demold. I just wanted to know what the result of that hole and had the snow globey type effect work. And oh my god, I was so pleased that I did the Jesmonite with this in the end. Obviously you can see around the edge I had a few resin splatters. Oh my god, that actually really added to the effect of the skull at the end. So it was really well. So this is me just tapping some of the air bubbles out. Obviously I don't want to break any of the seal, so it went really well. Now it is hard to demold this, so I flipped it over. And you know what? Look at the red resiny bits on the side. It looked great. Gives it that effect. And it was amazing. And it did what I wanted it to do. This is the first mould up because it's a new mould. I haven't demolded this one before. So this was the first time I've used this new mould. I've got 2 school moulds now, so I can do 2 at the same time and see how they go. But this was amazing. Although it did, you can see it did mix. So I'm trying to give it a good shake and try and get all this mica powder and glitter moving. It did take a while for it to be able to be picked up and seen. There was a lot that I've learnt from this. So I needed to bring the balloon a little bit further to the eye sockets. So it's more at the back of the head at the moment. Do need to seal that plastic. So I have gone and got a epoxy glue and see if that would work on my next one. But look at it. It is absolutely beautiful. My very first ever attempt in doing something like this. And I'm absolutely in love with it. Although it's not perfect. Again, like someone says to me, like I think it was Claire, it's made with love, not perfection. And it is beautiful. It did what I want it to do. Look. I am so pleased with this. I can't wait to do more. One thing I should have done here is made sure I was recording in landscape and not portrait. So this is why you're getting this in portrait mode. But this is amazing. I'm so happy how it turned out. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell, as I will be doing another one and I don't want you to miss out on this new thing that I'm doing. But thank you very much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day and I will see you next time. Bye bye.